Thanksgiving is, in my opinion, the most American of holidays. Obviously, the popular culture landscape is dominated by stoic images of pilgrims and grateful Puritans gathered together for feast and kinship, celebrating a bountiful harvest. And while the kinship and the blessings and the harvest are the heart of Thanksgiving, the soul of Thanksgiving lies in the risk and the reward of the endeavor and the enterprise to get to that point. The heart is mortal, but the soul is eternal. The Puritans were not the first pilgrims to reach the New World. Eric the Red and his Norsemen landed in Greenland in the last half of the 9th century. And within 100 years, Eric's sons would lead their band down to the Canadian coasts of Newfoundland and Labrador. Obviously, Columbus made his voyages to the New World in the 1490s, and 15 years after Columbus's first voyage, John Cabot and his son sailed west to claim eastern Canada down to Cape Cod as an English colony. Not to be outdone, the colonial powers of the day, the Dutch, the French, the Spanish, the Italians, and the Portuguese also sailed west to the New World and planted their flags in places like the Great Lakes, the Mississippi Valley, New Orleans, Florida, and what would become the American West. All of that risk and all of that enterprise created the American experiment. And while birthright was the legal tender of the old world, the currency of the New World was risk and sacrifice, sweat, effort, and an inability to quit. And that's what makes America so special. Within 150 years of that first Thanksgiving, Americans would use the British to drive the French back to Quebec. And then they would turn around and use the French to drive the British out of North America. Not more than 3 centuries after that first Thanksgiving, America was on a trajectory that it would have no enemies, no rivals, and no heirs. Now, obviously, the last few years, geopolitical events have caused that landscape to change a bit. And America now has enemies. And America has rivals. But America still has no heirs. For in this sweet and blessed land, it does not matter where you come from, but only where you are going. So have pride, have faith. You do not come from a weak and spineless people. America is still the beacon of the world. And while one has to be born Greek, while one has to be born Chinese, while one has to be born German, one does not have to be born American. One can become America. And that's how we raise patriots.